Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Tranquil Waters. Here in Farming Simulator 22 with me, CWATTYESO. In what is my multiplayer server, where currently I am the only person online. So I'm going to make a quick start to today's tasks and get some seed planted on our field. So I'm going to put triticale on field 2 here on the map. There are currently no contracts available in February, which is a little bit worrying. But after I've done this seeding, we'll probably need to do rolling, I'm going to guess. And then there's nothing stopping me from moving to March. And I imagine once we hit March, the contract screen will blow up, absolutely blow up, with all the contracts that the AI farmers on the map want us to do. Because at the moment we only own, well, no, we own several fields now in this little series. Mostly in part thanks to Mr. Helgi, my fellow player, who is currently playing Train Sim World 3, which is why he's not here farming with me at the moment. But and also because I'm trying to test a theory that I have as well in regards to the YouTube, where whenever I live stream this multiplayer farming action to the YouTube channel, YouTube deems it as non-advertiser friendly, so won't allow me to monetize it. And the only thing I can think of that makes this different from any of the other farm sim content that I upload to the channel, or my Ringwood stream that I do every Wednesday on the channel, is that Mr. Helgi is in these videos. And I think YouTube's got an issue with Mr. Helgi. I think Mr. Helgi might not be advertiser friendly. I don't want to accuse YouTube of being racist, but they might have it against Germans, is what I'm saying. Because it just seems funny how any video that Mr. Helgi's in... He's back! He's here! I was just talking about you, Mr. Helgi. I was just telling the people in my chat how YouTube doesn't think you're advertiser friendly. He's here, everybody! That's okay. I saw you, I saw you're currently train driving. There goes my monetization, Jimpy says. Yeah. Well, we'll test. We'll find out. We'll find out if Mr. Helgi breaks it. You can, if you know how to do that sort of thing. Yes. Yes, I'm just doing a little bit of seeding myself at the moment on the field 2, after you ploughed it so brilliantly last night, when you didn't need to. So brilliantly ploughed it. And then there's no contract, so I might be tempted after I've done this. If this field needs rolling, obviously I'll roll it, but if it doesn't, then I can just jump ahead a little bit and maybe get to March and see what jobs come up, because otherwise we've finished everything again. Ban me? Bit extreme. I don't know. Barker banned somebody in the chat last night. It's the first time I've ever had someone banned on my channel. But Barker banned somebody and they only came into chat and said like one thing. And he was like, ban. And I was like, what? What's going on? I've heard creators saying that the kick chat's been a bit feral recently, but I've not encountered any issues on my side of things. I've seen some things on other people's channels, and obviously you get the few wombats and doodingles on some other channels. Yeah, the wombles. But yeah, as I was saying, we've got quite a few fields, as I was telling the YouTube people. No part because of you and your massively, massively important collectible hunt that you do. Every time we start a multiplayer map, you go off and just become obsessed with finding all the collectibles. I'm surprised, I'm surprised the police didn't contact you and ask you to find Madeleine McGann. You'd have found her by now. Especially if there was $1 million available for it. Well, yeah, that little girl who went missing in, was it Portugal? Many years ago, when her parents left her when her parents left her alone while they went off to the restaurant to have their dinner. Yeah, you would have found her in seconds. Left her in the hotel, didn't they? In the room while they went off nightlifing and clubbing and living it up. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, if you want collectibles finding on a map, Mr. Helgie's your man. He tracks them down. He even gets the ones that I thought were out of reach for mere mortals. Yeah, because Stevie does the thing where it reveals them on the map once you've collected so many, yeah. On other maps where they don't do that, it's a little bit trickier. But then on other maps, some map makers do the game cartridges where you've only got to find 20. And there's also some now which do the new statues from the Silver Run map, where there's only 5 of those to find on a map. The little wooden carving statue things. Nothing? Yeah. Right. Based on your train speed. Oh, of course they will be, won't they? It's Dovetail. Gotta keep taking. Yeah, gotta keep taking that money off you. Well, Mr. Helgie, if you buy the game for $39 on Steam, you then get to rebuy all the content for Farming Simulator 3 in Farming Simulator 4 for $1,000. Because they just sell you the same thing every game. Will it? That'll be a first then. That'll be a first, because normally you have to rebuy everything. Ah. Hmm. Well, I'm sort of smiling and grinning at what Jimpy's just put in the chat, which is Jimpy's posted, Train Sim is a scam, in my opinion. Train Sim is a scam. All Dovetail game. Any game made by Dovetail Games is expensive. Yeah, I think Dovetail Games have one of the most aggressive models, don't they? Somebody scored a goal. Oh no! Yeah. Yeah, one of the most aggressive pricing model. I think the only thing maybe more aggressive than Train Sim might be Flight Sim. If you want all the scenery and all the different aircraft and all the air traffic control stuff and all that kind of stuff, that can get run into massive amounts of money. As well. Yeah. Modders getting paid. Innit? Modders getting paid. Farm Sim modders get paid. Farm Sim modders get paid, yeah. The ones on Giants Mod Hub. Anybody who releases on Giants Mod Hub gets paid by Giants. They get paid per download. They get paid for each download of their mod. It comes from Giants. Giants comes out of Giants' pocket. Comes out of Giants' profits. No. Wouldn't fly. People would be like, nope. Everyone would move them to third-party websites where you can download them for free. And the only people then that would lose out would be the console players that have no way of getting mods, who are stuck with the mod hub. And that's why, honestly, I don't understand all the different modders in Farming Simulator that release mods and don't submit them to Giants first and try to get them on the mod hub. You would think after they've done all that work to make the mod, they would want to maybe get a little bit of money back for it. You've reached your final destination. Which final destination? There's about 6 of those films. Was there... I can't try to think now. Was there a Final Destination film set on a train? Or was that the ending to the second film? Where everybody that thought they'd survived didn't, because everybody ended up weirdly meeting on the same train about 6 months later, and then the train derailed and everybody died, which just goes to show you there's no escape from death. It will find you. Some of those films were good, but some of them just got a bit silly. It started like all the deaths in the film started becoming like those like Rube Goldberg machines, where like every little thing had to happen in just the perfect way for the person to get killed in an accident, and for death to go, yes, got them. morning, little man. You coming up? Come up and lay down then. You get on the bed early tonight, dog. Don't disturb me. Because now I do not need to move again now today until Thursday. I am just using an earpiece today. Because I didn't manage to get an audio cable when I went shopping today. And the shop that I went to didn't sell them. So I can't use my cheap and cheerful headphones. And I'm just that fed up with the cable on the Bose ones. I took the Bose ones off last night. I was like, I'm fed up with the fucking things cutting out and going quiet on me and Train Sim World, Train Sim World 2, Train Sim World 3. You've spent a lot on Train Sim, definitely. Not as much as... Well, you've spent a lot on Train Sim World. Now, if you'd played Train Sim... If you played the original Train Sim, well... You would maybe have spent thousands by now. Buying all the trains and all the tracks if you'd got into that game. Graphics. Now, Mr. Helgi's on the server, everybody. Mr. Helgi's here now. He's logged in. So, I hope... let me check the map. I'm hoping that whatever Mr. Helgi does tonight, he at least uses the right piece of equipment for the job. Yes, needs rolling is the task for this field. He comes with a plough, or he comes with a cultivator this time and digs it all up again. I was watching a streamer this morning playing Farm Sim here on Kick while I was just doing a few little bits and pieces on the computer before I went out. Well, gameplay wise, not an issue. I disagreed with some of the things he was saying and talking about in his stream. He was like, friends. Yeah. Well, he was going on about the new Court Farms map by Oxygen David, and I was like, oh, the map's terrible. It's awful. You can't build your own farm or anything. You can't remove things, and it's like, you do understand what Oxygen David maps are about, don't you, streamer? They're meant to be replicas, or as close as replicas as you can get with the limitations of Farm Sim, to actual real world, real existing farms. Therefore, his maps are not designed so you can go in and delete stuff and start building your own stuff, because they're meant to be, here's an actual real farm, go play in the real farm. That's how his maps have always been in every version of Farm Sim. I mean, there are plenty of maps available for this game. If you want to build your own farms and customise your own farms and add stuff and delete stuff and use the placeable system and use the train system, there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of maps that will let you do that. Okay? Play one of those. But to rip on a map, that's like a rip on a modder a map author and a map that never ever has that concept of build your own farm in mind, and will have. Yeah, I mean, obviously there are some players in Farm Sim who love the Alien Gym maps, things like No Man's Land, Western Wilds, maps like that, where when you load them up, there's absolutely nothing on them. There's not even a field. You have to put everything yourself. Okay, there are definitely players that like that, and you know, I fully respect those players, and I enjoy watching those players. I am not one of those players. I'm not creative enough. I am not patient enough with the building system and landscaping system in this game to do that. I mean, I was watching Misdirection the other night remodelling his farm, and you know, I would have put my controller through the monitor a couple of times if that had been me, when the game did stupid janky things with like raising the ground when you didn't want it to raise the ground, when you was just placing a shed and then it goes and puts a great big mountain in front of it. I mean, there are things in Farm Sim that obviously the placeable system, train system, it's new this year. And obviously it's going to be improved for future Farm Sim games, and maybe it will get better in the future. But right now for me, I much prefer it when I load into a map if I have a farm already set up and established. And it's a working system, yes. I also appreciate, like on Stevie's maps, like this one, that if we want to, we can remove buildings and move things around. That's perfectly fine as well. You know, I love that as well. So like as we go along, we can change things and modify things as we need to. But I also do like the idea that there are map makers out there and map authors who are actually looking at real world farms that really exist in real parts of the world and are going, I'm going to make a map that replicates that as closely as I possibly can, so people can go and play on that and they can see it, you know. We've seen it with like the Welkers. Yeah, and cope with that environment, the narrow roads. Yeah. And the thing is, as well, the bit that I didn't like about the rant from this guy that I was watching earlier was that we've played a few of Oxygen David's maps in the game. In FS19 we played some of his maps. We played Calmsden in FS22, and obviously there's this new Court Farms. There are areas on the map that are just open space that you can buy and create your own thing. He included a massive area on Calmsden, right next door to the BGA on the map, because if you remember when we played the map, that's where we put all our production buildings. And it's the same on the new map. There's actually a couple of areas on the new map that you can use if you don't want to use any of the starting farms, because I believe there's a couple of farms on Court Farms. There's a couple of areas you can start in. So yeah, I really didn't get it. I didn't understand the complaint and the bashing of the Court Farms and the Oxygen David. I mean, I'm not, you know, I will say it, I'm not a massive Oxy guy. I'm not a fanboy by any means. I mean, I've had complaints about some of his maps in the past. I mean, Lone Oak, that famously went south between me and Oxy, because I complained about the fact that he'd got all these stupid fake trees on the map that you couldn't cut down and couldn't remove. So I went into Giants Editor myself, removed them all from the map, and then I uploaded the map to the internet and said, hey everybody, download this, I fixed it. And fucking Oxygen David went mental. I put the map on Nexus Mods and said, hey everybody, go and download the fixed map without the stupid janky fake trees. And some of the other things that he wouldn't fix. And, oh god, yeah, he went mental. And I think his mate had a go at me as well on Giants Forums, his mate Bullet Bill. He started sending me a load of messages on Giants Forums, and I was like, Bill, wind your neck in. Until you actually make and produce something for FS22. Or FS19, because I don't think Bullet Bill made any mods for FS19, because he apparently didn't like FS19, he didn't like the game, and he just had nothing. He had nothing good to say about FS19. No, FS19. Yeah, FS19 he didn't like, and had nothing good to say about. Whenever he poked his head above the parapet, whenever he came out from under his rock, it was always negative about FS19. But what was weird was, in FS17, Bullet Bill was like, he was like the mod hub king. You know, he was like the guy that, whenever he released a mod, everybody downloaded it, everybody ranted and raved. Well, he didn't exhaust himself, but what he did do, which I thought was a bit weird, towards the end of FS22's lifestyle, he posted a FS17, yeah, sorry, FS17. When it got close to the end of FS17's life cycle, he posted a very, very heartbreaking message on Giants Forums that unfortunately he wasn't going to be able to do any modding for FS19 because his computer just wasn't good enough to be able to handle it. And unless he got a new computer, he wasn't going to be able to make any mods for the new game. So of course, everybody in the Giants community rallied round, set up a GoFundMe thing for him, donated him several £1,000 so he could go and buy himself a nice new computer, which he did do. He went and got himself a new computer, and then he turned around and says, I don't like FS19, I'm not making mods for it. And it's like, yeah, that made him lots of friends. And then, like, weirdly, in FS22, he's reappeared again, and he has. I know I've seen he has released a couple of mods, I think, on the mod hub. Yeah, and well, like I say, his PC seems fine. Well, obviously, his PC is fine because it had a couple of years rest between FS17 and FS22 because it didn't do anything for 2-3 years. They will do. They're never going to go back down in price. You're never going to get a graphics card for like £300 or $500. You will. You will get graphics cards for that price, but they won't be any good. You won't be able to play anything on max resolution and maximum frames and ultra quality and stuff. They won't. It's just that they know now, unfortunately, all these computer manufacturers and parts manufacturers, they know people will pay the price. They can charge the price because people are stupid enough to pay it. So they're never going to lower the prices again. Yeah. No. I entered a competition the other week, actually. There's a company here in the UK, computer company, that sells all like PC stuff and PC parts and everything. And they were running a competition on their website that you could enter. And it was basically, to enter, you had to tell them which component in your PC you would like to upgrade the most. And the winner, they would do it. They would upgrade that component. So you could only pick one component. And obviously, most of the people that were entering were going, oh, I'd upgrade my GPU. I'd upgrade my GPU because I want a 4080 Ti, blah, 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 and all this stuff. Me, being a little bit more switched on and a little bit more forward thinking, I went, I would like to upgrade my processor. Because my processor is an 8th gen. So it's, it's like 7 generations old now. And it's not taking advantage of the latest technology, all the new cores, all the new threads, and all the new rendering capabilities for video editing and processing and blah, 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 blah. Now, the reason why I went for processor is because I know if you're going to change the processor in my PC, you're also going to have to put in a new motherboard. You're going to have to put in new RAM. You're going to need a new power supply. Hey, I've just got all my PC, most of my PC upgraded by this company. Not just one component. Yeah. And then the graphics card, well, I'll buy that myself then. Yeah. I have to get a new one. Yeah, I'll have to have DDR6 RAM, so they're going to have to upgrade that. Can't use my DDR4. Yeah, going to need a big case. With about 28 fans to keep it cool. That's, of course, in addition to all the water cooling that it will need to keep it cool. Because you won't want a 4090 running on air. You're going to want it properly water cooled. Put it in an aquarium. Do a Linus. Do a Linus Tech Tips. Build one in a fish tank. Yeah. No, he used what was it? Mineral oil, didn't he? Because it was non-conductive. Yeah, but rust. Rust on all the steel stuff in the components. Mr. Helgie's roly in. Jimpy's got a GTX 1070 and it's still going strong, so I don't need a new GP graphics card. I had a 1070. I had a 1070 FTW3. I've still got it. It's in a box over there. But I replaced it 2 years ago now with my 2080 Ti. Because I decided to get a 2080 Ti as opposed to a 3080 or any of that stuff. Because the 2080 Ti was cheap. And it meant it fitted in my PC without me having to replace the motherboard, the power supply and everything. Which is the biggest thing holding me back on upgrades is the fact that when I built this PC, I was stupid and decided to only put a 650 watt power supply in it. I don't know why I thought that 650 was ever going to be future proof. Hello, the leeway. Good evening to you. Good evening. Right. Is it worth me trying to fertilise? Is it worth me trying to fertilise? Yes, we are. We are farm simming. I'm going to try doing some compost. It might not take it because obviously we've only just done this field. But we'll see. It might let me do it. How's your day been, Lee? What have you been up to? I hope you had a quiet one. Fairly quiet one. Oh, I forgot to tell you, Mr. Helgi, there's going to be a map update sometime this week. This map. Stevie's got an update ready to come out. I'm hoping not. I'm hoping not. I think he may have been sneakily lurking the other evening during our stream. Not about the fields, but no, it's about the contracts delivering to certain locations, because he's apparently removed all the farm productions from the contract deliveries. He's also fixed some other things on the map with like objects that aren't in the right place. So maybe that floating thing at the ice cream thing might be one of those. He's also updated all his mods. So his full mod pack, which is about 4 gigabytes in size. He's done an update on all the mods in that and re-released it, which I downloaded this weekend. And then he's also released another mod pack now with some new mods in, which have come out recently that he's never done before. I don't have it on the server, no. I've not updated any of the things on the server. Yeah, I'm not going to put 4 gigabytes of Stevie mods on the server, no. Force you to download those. That would be cruel of me. But it does mean I could update a load of stuff on my Ringwood save tomorrow. Well, I've got my super duper amazing new high fast amazing broadband now, haven't I? Brilliant. I've got all the downloads with my new super fast broadband. 1.21 gigawatts. Great Scott. I missed that. I need to set up my thing again so it plays those clips. Doesn't it? I need the little clip player thing. You love that. You loved all those little things in FS19. Like when we had the thunder. I think all those sorts of clips I've still got. I've got them saved somewhere. There was one clip that I had. Can you remember? It was the one with the working out man. Do you remember that one? The old guy on the chair doing the working out thing. I can't find that clip on my computer. I wanted to find that the other day because I wanted to send it to Lee, because she'd have got it. She'd have understood it, because she was mentioning Mr. Yes. Oh, I know the ones. I think I've still got those. Let me see if I can find them. Yeah, you went to dance classes, didn't you? And then you did choir. I don't think it's in that one. I'm gonna have to have a hunt round all my memory sticks and stuff, see if I can find it. I don't know if it's in here. I've got that one.
Great Scott! Great Scott! Great Scott! Great Scott! Great Scott! Oh, great Scott! Great Scott! Money, come in! Great Scott! Great Scott! Great Scott!
What system you on? We are playing on PC.
Great Scott! Great Scott!
No.
Great Scott! Great.
Dobby's here. Great Scott. Yeah, all the Great Scots compilation. Yeah, that's the one I used to play. The 1.21 gigawatts. Then there was... Oh, there was this guy as well. Remember this guy?
I feel I was denied critical, need to know information.
The father.
It's a race, it's a race. I'm winning, I'm winning. It's a race, it's a race.
I'm winning.
I'm winning, I'm winning.
All these old clips. We used to have these, like, you could put, these could be played via command. I need to try and figure out how to set that up so people can get these, like, when they do the command things. Oh, and of course the best one. Where's... Oh, yeah, I need to find Matey Boy's, the dancers. Lumia! Misdirection is here. Yeah, I need to learn about Lumia or whatever that is. But I need to find all the old clips as well. I need to find, like I say, I need to find the guy in the chair dancing, doing the workout stuff, the exercises.
Used to be.
Yeah, was it that one?
There's a shadow hanging over me. I believe in yesterday.
Oh no, there's a GeForce Game Ready Driver update.
Roll, roll, roll your boat gently down the
No more updates! No more updates! Windows is bad enough breaking my PC this afternoon whilst I was out of the house.
Splash, splash, splash.
I do not need any more Windows breaking.
Gently down the
Now, it's like trying to use my PC tonight when I logged off, jumped on to start streaming. It was like, I was getting like 5 frames per second. I was like, what is going on? Better Call Saul? Better Call Saul? Oh, nobody! Yes. Yes. You're right, yeah. Christopher Lloyd. Yeah. I remember now. Where? think it's in downloads, isn't it? I'll find it. It's in here somewhere. That one. I think this is the one. This was the video we used to do. This was back during the... How's the field rolling anyway? We'll come back to those funny clips. I need to find because I need to find the proper clip. I also need to find the dancers. Where's the dancers? I'm gonna have a look on my Yeah, I thought I had that one. Yeah, but then there's the other one, isn't there? Like I say, I'm sure there was one where there's actually people doing the workout and he's telling them. Oh, can't really do else until you finish rolling, because then I've got to move time forward to get to all the contract stuffs. Ah, yes. Where is it? I saw it. I saw it. I saw it. It's there. It's there. Copy that. Nope. Wrong one. Wrong folder. Don't paste it into that one. Paste it into that one. This is the one. The one. No. No. This is the one. This is the one that Mr. Helgi likes. This is the one. I need to maybe reset the transfer. I can hear it. We are the winners. Watch us glimmer like the sun to the champion. Why can I not see it? Why can I not see the video? Play? We are the winners. Watch us glimmer. Oh, that's just MP3. No! That's why there's no music. That's just music. Where's the video? I thought there was a video version of it. I'm sure I do. I just don't know where it is. Oh. Not that one. That one. Barker's here. Is it going to be in this folder? Yes. Because he's very good at dancing. Oh no, I don't know where it's all gone. It might be on my other thingy. Not anywhere close to hand here. I might have to go through I've got to go through all my old USB memory sticks to find it, because it'll be backed up on one of them or on one of my hard drives. Or it's going to be on my cloud drive thingy, my live drive thing. Wherever that is. He's probably playing Rainbow Six Siege. He is. I would think. That's Barker's jam. Is he playing with Bagel? Bagel's his friend that came in to chat last night, and Barker just started absolutely ripping on him. It's like, what a way to introduce someone to a stream. To a streamer. They come into your stream and you just sit there and go, oh, this guy's looks like a thumb. What? Rolling's done? Right, we can forward time then. Oh, I know where it is. I have found it. I think I've got it saved. Oh, we may have got this. If it's where I think it is. I've just found it. Videos. It might be in my old green space overlay little folder thingy. That's an MP4. That might be a video file. Let's go. This is Mr. Helgi in the 80s, ladies, everybody. See if you can spot him in the video.
America's best aerobic athlete.
There he is. In the blue. So American, isn't it? They made it an emote in Fortnite, yeah. I'm trying to think who used this a lot. There's like, I wouldn't say YouTubers, but like podcasters and stuff. Oh, what's his name? Greg Miller. Greg Miller and his crew, they used to use it all the time.
America's best aerobic athlete.
I'm not going to press comment on that. I already take my risks at times with some of my comments. I'm going to politely pass. You all look like they're auditioning for American Gladiator. I watched that documentary on Netflix the other day.
America's best aerobic athlete.
I mean, I thought our Gladiator show was back. There's even yours. I reckon I ought to get everybody up in reacting this. I'm sure it's 70 and 80 year olds up doing it. Saying, hey, you know what? Old guys and girls, your time to work. I believe it today, you're old. You just cleared off like half hour early. I was the last one there. they have less minutes on their exercises. It's going to be February, so still go to 9 AM. Yeah, 9 AM. It's nice and sunny then. Because I needed to press the button. Snow, snow, snow. Did I finish my lime? Did I finish lime spreading? Did I? Did I finish or not? I probably didn't finish. I didn't. I can carry on finishing now though. The main thing is there any contracts on the contract screen? No, still no contracts. I don't get what's going on. I don't get what's going on. Any of our fields ready to harvest or anything? Oh yeah, it's not March yet, is it? We need to sleep again. Oh yeah, because this field should have grown. I just realised if it yeah, you can skip to 1st March, yeah. That'll be better. Then there won't be no snow anymore. Again, I'm having that issue where, because I'm playing on about 4 different maps at the minute, I'm losing track of where I am on what maps. Okay. Right, that changes things. I'm going to need GPS now to see where I am harvesting. Field 4. I would go do the harvesting first, if you would like to, because I'm going to be harvesting our own field for a few minutes. Jay Clizzard, hey buddy, welcome on into the channel. Welcome into the chat. Good evening to you. Is our field ready to harvest? No, I want to fertilise our field, field 2. I'll finish that off first. And then I'll debate whether I'm going to go do the fertilising on the other one. 10? Oh, awesome. So we've got our own harvest to do as well. Even better. Yeah, so you go treat yourself to field 14. Shouldn't take you many minutes to do that. Get the harvest warmed up. And then we'll...
You just made the list!
Thank you for the follow, Jay Clizzard. Welcome to the channel. It has been years since you played a farm sim game. Well, now's the perfect time to start playing again then. Like so many people recently coming to Kick have been taking up the game. A lot of new players coming into the game recently, I've noticed. And trying to give a lot of those streamers some support when I'm not obviously streaming myself, by going and watching them and popping into their chats and stuff, because I would definitely like to see more farm sim players here on Kick. Most definitely, you know. Because it's a good game. It's a very good little game, especially in multiplayer. I would love to see a farm sim server for the Kick streamers. That would be interesting. Kick stream, yeah. Misdirection was on about that the other evening, actually, when I was watching his stream, thinking about all the farm sim streamers having like a community server that we all can play on at different times, because obviously we all stream in different times of the day and from different time zones around the world. So yeah, that would be rather interesting. The thing is, it'd be trying to get everybody to agree on what map, on a map. That's the first thing. Yeah, Mods would be the next thing, trying to get everybody to agree on, because not all of the not all the streamers here on Kick are on PC. Some of them are console players, sadly, which means they don't have access to all the really good and great mods. And then it's whether a case the PC players are happy to downgrade. You know. I'm not sure I could live without guidance steering. DLCs, yeah, you'd have to make a decision on the you'd either have to say no DLCs to include absolutely everybody and make sure everybody can play. Because I know for a fact there's a lot of people that are playing via Game Pass on console and PC, because Farm Sim 22 is free on Microsoft Game Pass. But it doesn't come with any of the DLC. It's just the basic game. So yeah, I think if you was doing a Kick community server, you'd have to say no DLC to make it accessible for everybody. I'm just thinking what that would potentially restrict people from. You wouldn't have the Kubota stuff from Season 1. To be honest, that's about all I can think of that I use from Season 1. Oh, maybe the Antonio Carrero, the little tractors for doing all the grapes and olive stuff. Yeah, the forestry for the Silver Run. There's some good equipment in that DLC. Obviously, the big one I think people would be missing out on is the Horse. The Horse DLC that comes out next week. Oh, that's great. I forgot that came out next week. I bet I get an email from Giants on Thursday then. Here's your download code for the new DLC. Please remember, you are under embargo until 10 AM on Friday, whatever it is this Friday. After that time, you will be able to post and release any content containing the new DLC. And I'll be like, straight on to Kick, 1 minute past 10 Friday morning, Horse DLC, video preview. Let's get all the equipment, let's test it out. As I've done for the last two DLCs, the Göweil and the Hay and Forage. Oh, you see, there's me today trying to plan out the rest of my week before I went off to my rehab of what I'm going to be doing, streaming, content making kind of thing this week. Completely forgot about that. So now Friday might change. My plans for Friday may have to change, ladies and gents. Because if there is a preview to do on the new DLC, I will have to do that. First thing Friday morning. Get that video out onto YouTube then. Oh, I'll tell you what, wouldn't even have to worry about doing the video, would I? I could just dual stream it. I could simulcast it. I could do it on YouTube and Kick at the same time. And that way then I get to beat all like the what do you call it? What's his name? Oh, I mean, mine's keeps going blank today on names. Colourblind farmer on YouTube. Plays in great colourblind mode all the time. Does all the ums and ahs and ifs and stuff when he's... Farmer Klein. Yeah, I could beat him. I can beat him to getting some content out. And Goham, because they're obviously in America. And they'll be asleep when the DLC drops on Friday morning. I'll even be able to beat Mr. CDP. Because he's on console and he won't get early access. Because he can't download the DLC early on console, because Giant send out a code for their own website for PC only. So yeah, I'll be able to get. Might be able to get a few views. Might be able to get more views on Friday than I've had for a while. Well, no, see, embargo. See, embargo. Yeah, but I can't. Well, I don't know for definite if I am going to receive it, do I? That's the thing. There's no point me going, yeah, I'm going to be doing this, this, and this on Friday if Giants actually don't. That's the thing. I could get really carried away and then Giants, for whatever reason, decide, actually, this time we're not going to send you the horse DLC as an early treat. Everybody will just get it next Tuesday when it releases. But I'll be surprised if they didn't send it out early to all as gold partners and higher. They ought to send me a new plaque. They did, I think. They should send me a gold, you know, like the YouTube plaques. Yeah. Sue Giant for loss of earnings. I'll be like, again! The blooming Germans again have cost me money on YouTube. Germans cost me revenue again. If it's not Mr. Helgi making me non-advertiser friendly, it's... Do you know what I found funny as well the other day? After FarmCon, I went on the Giants merchandise site again. You know the great merchandise site where they only ship to like 5 countries in the world. And did you know that Germany is not a country they ship to? Giants. Well, if you go onto Giant's website and buy yourself a Farm Simulator t-shirt and buy yourself a Farming Simulator mouse mat or a mug or something, they won't actually ship it and deliver it to you because you live in Germany. It's not a place they deliver to. How does that work? They're a German company. They're based in Germany. How can they not ship to themselves? I think it's still only like Austria, France, Spain, Belgium, and somewhere else is the 5th place. I can't remember. Switzerland, it might be. Switzerland might be the 5th place. It's so bad because there's loads of Farm Sim merch on that website that I would love to buy. I would love to buy the full desk Farm Sim mouse mat to replace the crappy thing that I've got on my desk. But they don't ship to the UK. You used to run a roleplay server on Farm Sim 22. I miss it so much. Farm Sim roleplay. Oh, it could be the new thing. Replace GTA RP as the #1 streamed thing. Get the Fire Brigade mod in there. That new emergency pack mod, yeah. Have someone driving around the map all the time, rescuing people from cars and putting out bale fires and dumpster fires. I must admit, I did join a GTA roleplay server the other night, but I didn't do anything beyond create my character. I just created my character and that was it. I don't even think I left the house that you start in. I was like, I have no clue what to do on this thing. Plus, I think the person who runs the server was still fiddling around with stuff, so it was constantly like kicking you out and restarting all the time, and I'm like, I can't be playing a game where that's happening constantly. Right. Oh, field 15 is ready for harvesting as well, Mr. Helgi. Yeah, contract. Sorghum for field 15 to be taken to the small pig food mixer by Stevie. Field 11, that's the one over here, isn't it? The big one. Field 14's the little field at the top of the map. I don't think I've worked that one yet. You're doing the first job ever on that field. I'm just going to do a little cheeky little headland. So I don't... Oh, no, back up. And compost spreading. Is this not field 11? Must be field 11. But yeah, I mean, I've not run a dedicated server for a while now in FS22 for several months. Used to run a 24/7 server. I did that from FS19 onwards. So at the moment, this server is just locally hosted. When I'm online, I just create the game and host it locally. Because there's not that many people that want to play at the moment. I don't have to worry about setting up an actual 24/7 server. But I would like to eventually get back to that point, and then people can play when it's more convenient for them rather than when it's just me streaming. Because I'm trying to think that the stream schedule might have to change soon, Mr. Helgi. Yes, that's also the good thing about having a 24/7 dedicated server, is that I can log on after Mr. Helgi's been on for several hours and I can find the absolute chaos and mess that he's left behind, where he's fallen asleep whilst doing a job and caused crop destruction all over the map because he's left his he's got cruise control on. But yes, I'm thinking, well, as I say, stream schedule wise, I think we're okay for the rest of this month, more or less, doing the Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday multiplayer. But I think from August I might have to move it to a Wednesday night and Friday night, if that's okay with you. Okie dokie. It's just because I realised in August, Tuesday nights, there's a lot of Tuesday nights where I'm not going to be here because it's going to be football. And then you do it, does it show as failed? And does it come up as failed again? Yeah, I'll accept that. I'll accept it. So there's field 15 queued up. Good thing is it's different crops. It's sorghum on 15, you're doing barley currently, so you can't get it mixed up. You can't deliver it to the wrong place. Not like I'm currently having the issue with on one of my maps, where I've got 2 oat contracts on 2 different fields. And every time I go onto the screen and do the extra details, the field progress and delivery progress just does not add up for either of the fields. You had so much fun on the server, and you're a master farm builder. Yeah, I was talking about this at the beginning of the stream. I'm not really much of a builder in FS22. I mean, I do some customizations of my farms and things, but I'm not one of these people that like has to build their whole farm layout themselves and have everything set up the way they want it. I would much rather load a map up where everything's already been done for me and I just play around that. But I admire the people, I really do admire the people that can use the building system and the placeable system and the landscaping in this game to get some pretty impressive things going. You know, I do like that, and I do watch that. And it was going back to what the discussion we had at the start of the stream with Jim P and that, because we was watching a streamer earlier on Kick here, Farm Sim streamer, who was absolutely slagging off a map author and their map because it's a replica of a real life farm in a real part of the world, and because it's been made obviously to be a replica of the farm, it's designed for people to go, hey, I wonder what it's like to play on that farm. So they hop into game and get to play on that farm in all its actual reality. And this guy, this streamer, was absolutely ripping it to bits because, oh, I can't build my own farm. I can't customise the map how I want to. And it's like, well, there are plenty of other maps where you can do that. Play one of those. You know? There are hundreds and hundreds of maps for this game. There are loads that have literally nothing on them when you load in the game. Not even so much as a field. And you have to create everything. Your farm, your fields, from scratch. Play those maps if that's the kind of player you are. Don't sit on the internet slagging someone off who's put a lot of hours into making something that at the end of the day doesn't cost you anything to download and play. It's completely free. Don't slag them off because they've made something that at the end that they want to make. You know? Ultimately, at the end of the day, we have to remember that modders for Farming Simulator are making things that they want to see in the game. We're just lucky that we then get to play with those things after they are done and finished. Okay? Sometimes, yeah, sometimes the maps meet your expectations. Sometimes the maps disappoint you. Again, it swings and roundabouts. It's not the map fault, yeah. It's because of your taste. Your own, you know, your own take, your own likes, your dislikes. You know? Well, yeah. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, in all the time that I've played Farming Simulator games, I have downloaded some maps and I've played them, or I've started playing them and gone, oh my god, this is absolute dross. This is absolute rubbish. And yet, for a portion of the community, it's the greatest thing ever. And I'm sat there scratching my head going, what? Oh yeah, that Land Down Under map. We need to do that. I was actually saying to Misdirection that if I ever do a 24-hour stream, it might be an idea to load that map up and harvest that field. Because in game it reckons it's going to take you 83 hours to do it. So even in a 24-hour stream, I wouldn't complete the field. Not with one harvester and one truck. I'd have to see how many? Yeah, 16 X-Men. Are you thinking of... Oh... Yeah, Australian Outback. I think that was the map. Yeah, that map. I think that map came out for FS22 as well. I'm sure somebody ported it for FS22. No, I didn't even download it and look at it. Because if you remember, one of my big issues with the map, and one of the things I didn't like, was when it came to customising fields and putting new edges on the fields to make them less squarey and things like that. Less squarey. When you was trying to use like the painting tool, like to paint the ground or paint the grass or whatever, and you've got your lovely little square thing, the fields that were close to the map edge, you couldn't actually get anywhere near, could you? So like if this field was the map edge, was like the map border was like just on the edge of this field, the closest I could get with a paint tool was probably about here. So there would be like a whole strip of the field left that I couldn't paint over and get rid of and delete to put like a headland on the field. And that annoyed me so much. Yeah, it was too massive. It was too massive for two people. If you had a full server of players, it would have been a good map to play on, definitely, and it would have been fun. But for two players, it was just, yeah, it was too much. Far too much. You know, when you're spending 3 or 4 nights of the week just doing the same job on the same field for 3 or 4 hours of a live stream, it got a bit old. Like, yeah, that root crop harvest on Fenton Forest, for example. That was a one-off. That was like one thing where we spent like 3 nights doing one field, harvesting one field. And that was a one-off. But this Australian map, it was every single field was taking you like a week or more to do. And it's like, no, it's too much. But I tell you what, that map. Yeah. But I tell you what, that map in FS22 would have been actually quite liked by people. Because you had all that room, you could easily get rid of fields and have placeables. Because obviously in FS19 there wasn't a whole lot of placeables, there wasn't a production system in FS19. So that Australian Outback map, when that came out, I'm sure that got ported over very early in FS22's lifetime. That map would have been, I bet a lot of people in FS22 like that map because, oh, there's room for me to place loads of buildings and loads of productions and loads of animal pens. I can customise and build my own farm. So yeah, for FS19 that map was probably not a great map, but with all the changes in FS22, it was actually probably a very good map for people to play. With all the new stuff. Well, I must admit, I am looking forward to this horse Horse DLC. It'd be nice to see that map again, because that map was the one. Can you remember when I did multiplayer with Mr. Kibberton? No, we played that. Yeah, when I did multiplayer with Kibberton, can you remember that map we played first? When I first started playing with him. Because that's the map that's going to be in this DLC that comes out next week. And that had some pretty big fields on it as well. Was very good for multiplayer with lots of people. And again, that's based on a real-world location because it's where the Horse development and testing facility is, isn't it? So all the stuff that they design and all their manufacture and test. It's either Germany or it's Switzerland. Austria. I know Austria. Oh, it might be Austria. I'm sure. I think it's Austria. I can't remember what the name of the map is. But I know it did have a foreign-y name. I'm sure if I go on the FS19 mod hub and look it up, it'll come up straight away. Because that's obviously got a lot of people sort of groaning in the farm sim community. Especially if you go on the forums and stuff. They're like, oh, Horse Pack DLC, €9. It was free in FS19. Yeah, but you don't realise that the version for FS22 has completely new machinery that has never been in the game before, because it's all new models, and the map has actually been done by Giants for the first time ever, and not by third parties or modders. It's the map plus equipment, yes, for like €9. I will give that a try. Like I say, if I get access to it, my stream on Friday morning will be that map, because I ain't even got to worry about, oh, what save do I load it into? No, I can just load the map up because it's part of the DLC. There's part of the preview. Hey, look at this map. And then obviously getting all the equipment out of the store, all the different horse stuff, and giving it a bit of a test drive and test spin. New seeders, new planters, new weeder. 24-metre weeder, ladies and gents. Oh, can't wait for that. Can you? 24-metre weeder. That only requires, I think it's 100, was it 250 horsepower? Pull, which is quite low. I'm trying to find out what the score is in the football. We was losing 2-0 at one point. 2-2. Ooh, now 4-2. 3-2. It would be nice when they put the score 3-2, 4-2, etc. If they actually put which team was winning. Now 4-2. Greg, the unit, heads back across goal and Robidon gets his second from close range. So it looks like we were 2-0 down and we've come back to win 4-2. My boy has got some more goals tonight. Greg the unit. Although he wasn't doing brilliantly for me in Football Manager last night, as Barker will attest, if he's still lurking. He missed a lot of chances for me in game last night on stream. Hilltop Mill, I believe, is over on the left side of the map. I think somewhere in this massive grain mill, feeding grain, farm supplies. That is the oil mill, or is it the one over here? Hilltop Mill, yeah, top right of the map, just above field 10. Yeah. Behind you. You've got to go all the way across the bridge, turn around and come back. Oh, Helgi. Have you played this game before? Farmson. Tell you what, if I ever, like I say, if I ever get to the point where I have enough viewers and followers and subscribers and stuff that I have a merchandise shop, that'll be another t-shirt, hoodie. The Mr. Helgi, have you played this game before? Will be one of the items you will be able to buy. Have you played this game before? Along with, obviously, in-your-face chickens. In-your-face chickens from FS19. In your beak chickens. In your face chickens. I might have to get that as an emote, actually. I might have to have a word with the guy that's made some of my new sub emotes and see if he'll do me an in-your-face chickens emote. Yeah. I was just needling away all night long at Mr. Helgi over his lack of productivity and his procrastinating, and how the chickens were more productive and more profitable than he was on the farm. And then Mr. Helgi just went into full-on rage mode. He was emptying silage bunkers by himself and getting rid of everything. He was harvesting fields by himself and selling the crop, collecting the straw, selling that. By the end of the stream, Mr. Helgi had made that much money. He was like, in your face, chickens! Just like, whoa, calm down. Straw collecting. Buck, buck. Yeah, they cluck. Chickens cluck. Cluck, 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 cluck. I'll tell you what I did see today as well. You know, I was saying the other night that when I was coming back from my rehab last week, I saw a harvester harvesting a field. And I stopped and went and actually watched the harvester and the tractor and that for about 3/4 of an hour. Well, today when I passed that same field at in the like the little grass bit where I'd actually parked, there was a dead Bambi laid there, and I was thinking, I wonder if Clarkson had hit it. Was it Clarkson driving the tractor? Did they hit it with the tractor or the combine? Just this dead deer laid there at the side of the road. Its 4 legs in the air. Yeah, maybe. They tried harvesting venison and it didn't quite work. Bit like that photo I sent you that time in Discord of that harvester with that pig caught in the header. Hmm. Yeah. Well, there was sadly no harvesting for me to watch today because it was raining this afternoon, so no harvesting. Crop would have been too wet. Ooh, it's harvest time. We've got harvest time. Ploughing field 16, yeah, contracts are coming up. Ploughing field 16, yeah. Oh, we still got that bug. Well, I can't have, because you're doing 2 harvest contracts. So, it's not a bug, as such. It's, yeah, it's temperamental. Some of the fields, they come up ready for harvest. But instead of giving us harvest contracts, they come up with ploughing contracts. And when you click on them, then the crop goes... I thought field 16 was a grass field. Was it not? Sorghum. Onions, is it? It's either sorghum... 15, sorry. 16. Now 16 might be right then. No, 16 is ploughing. So 16 is like a weird pinky colour. Creamy colour. That is either hops or rye. Might be rye then. I'll go with you. I'm not going to argue. No. I've not accepted the contract. It's probably, again, field 16's... Field 16 is probably one of those fields we've not done any jobs on yet. That might be the first contract. And until we've gone through a cycle where we've ploughed the field and that... Because we've got the harvest contracts came up on the other fields, okay, and you're doing them. So maybe it just needs. Maybe the fields just need to go through a cycle. I'm guessing something I did, not we, something I did when I updated the maps and didn't restart the save has caused a bit of an issue. But the fields that have gone through a cycle are okay. They're working fine. We just need to find a way to stop all the fields being at the same... We need to get the AI fields staggered a little bit more. So it's not like 1 month we've suddenly got all the contracts to do and then next month there's nothing. We need to get them spaced out and staggered out a bit. Yeah. Trouble is, I think most of the crops that Stevie added, like the rye, the triticale, the other one. No, not carrots. What's it called? Not the hops, the other one. No, not poppy. There's rye, triticale, and... I don't want to go in the map screen and look. There's 3 of them right together. I'm going to go in the map screen and look. Millet! Spelt! 4 of them. Those 4 crops. I think they all have about the same sort of growth time as wheat and barley. So if they're planted at the same time as the wheat and barley on the map, then you end up with wheat, barley, spelt, millet, rye, all that stuff, all taking the same length of time to grow, and then all coming up to harvest at the same time. And that's, I think, kind of what the AI is doing at the minute on the map, maybe. Why we need to get them staggered out a bit. I think those crops are 10-month growth cycles. Rye's a bit quicker, I think. Yeah. Is that field 16? Yeah, if I accept that for 43 grand, it's going to go to ploughing. It'll go withered. No. So you have to go field 15, isn't it? Have you done 14? Yeah, you got to do 15, and then obviously there's their own fields to do. Bailing. I don't know what made me think field 15 was a grass field. It's field 12 that's a grass field, isn't it? Field 12 and field 1 are the only 2 grass fields on the map which have baling contracts. And then obviously we've got field 3 now, which is going to be an alfalfa field, so we're going to get to mow and bale and stuff on that and do silage and stuff from the alfalfa. But it obviously, field 3 being quite small isn't going to give us much in terms of output. Yeah, crop. So when it comes time for us to do animals, we're still going to need a proper field, proper sized field to do the grass and stuff on. You could. I'm a bit reluctant to do that because I saw somebody post a screenshot in Stevie's Facebook group where he'd done that. He'd mowed all the grass around the starting fields on the farm, and the grass never grew back. The grass didn't regrow, so he was just left with that horrible green flat texture everywhere. Yeah. It's why when I do the rolling, the grass rolling, the field rolling, I'm actually doing like the headland round the field first, so I don't delete all the grass by dropping the machine down when I'm doing my rows. I've got room to lift up and turn round and put the thing down without deleting and removing all the grass. I assume the grass regrows now. I assume that's one of the things Stevie fixed in either 1.002 or 1.003 update to this map. But I'm reluctant to try it. I'm reluctant to get a mower out, go all the way around the field, go around all our fields, only to then find that the grass doesn't grow back. Because you will moan at me and say I've made it look horrible. We don't have a mower yet, no. Not yet, no. I'm trying to. I still haven't quite worked out yet how to do the mowing on this map. Whether we're going to do it with tractors and put a mower on the tractor. I know we normally always end up buying the big crone thing because, you know, it's easy to have the crone and you can just drive around and that does it. But the crone is also very expensive. Starting out. And if you have the crone from day one, where do you progress to? What's the upgrade path down the road? Yeah, that's a mulcher. That's the mulchie that Stevie gives us. I'm pretty sure Stevie does not give us a mower. Oh, is it? No, the yellow is a mower. Sorry. No, yeah, 7.3 mower. We do have one. We don't have a mulcher. I've just noticed. We should do really after harvest, shouldn't we? If we want the full yield bonus next time round. What is the mulching? I forget. It's about 2%. It's like 2%, isn't it, or 1.5% or something? Yield boost. No. It tells you about it somewhere. Grass around the fields, yeah, so you have to do the headland first. It doesn't actually tell you the percentage, does it? I thought it did. And there's all the courseplay stuff. Nice that courseplay added a help section to the game. Yeah, the Elo's not a bad mower, misdirection. It's the one I used, I think, in my courseplay tutorial video. It's quite a nice little mower. Doesn't need a lot of power. And I mean, it runs off 180 horsepower and it's got 22 kilometers an hour speed. So it's not slow. I don't know if you can put it on the front. I think it has to be pulled behind. No, we put it on the back. You can have front mounted. You can have front mounted mowers and rear mounted mowers, yes, but not in the LO variety. I think you're thinking of there's one in here. The Kong slide, where you've got your front mounted unit, you've got your rear mounted unit, and what's great about this one is it will windrow. So the unit on the front cuts 3.5 meters. The 2 units on the side cut to 12.3 meters, but they windrow, so they pull the grass that they're cutting into that middle strip. So if you just want to do your silage and baling afterwards, you haven't got to worry about rowing. So that was a very nice mower. I've used that one before. And obviously, I like the Swather mod as well. I like the Swather mod with the really old, which I use in my Ringwood save with the little old machine. And that does 9.3 meters with the header. 9.2. I like that for cutting the grass. You can also use this for... you've also got a header you can use for actually harvesting crops with it. But when it goes over the crops, it leaves the crops and the straw in a swath. And then you go over it later on with a harvester with a different header on. And you get a yield boost. Because then that sorts the crop from the straw. So it's an additional process, but you get more, you get a bonus. It might be because I'm in the shop menu. It seems like whenever I go into the menus, it does cause a little bit of lag on the server. Because I'm hosting. You don't get that in on a dedicated server. No. What, and then do a bullet bill and go, yep, thank you everybody, I'm not doing Farm Sim anymore, goodbye, peace out, see you, I don't play this game anymore. Rip off the Farm Sim community, you mean? Who all chipped in and got together to buy him a PC so he could carry on modding for FS19, and then the guy bailed. No, he did, because he said he basically in his little post that he put on Giants forums at the time, he basically said, unless I get donations and stuff to buy a new PC, I'm not going to be able to make mods for Farming Simulator 19, and that's why the people set up a donation link for him. And then once he got enough money and bought his PC, he dipped, and we never saw him again until FS22. But he's not released anything like the mods he used to do in FS17. He's released, I think, a Massey Ferguson tractor and I think a placeable pack for placeables for farm decoration, and that's about all he's done in FS22. Because every time I see him post on Giants forums, he's got nothing positive to say about Giants or the game. And I just think, well, if that's the case, dude, why don't you just go away forever? Why are you still here? You know, it's like, it reminds me of the guy who goes to a restaurant every week, sits down, orders the same meal, and then spends the whole night complaining to the waiter that he doesn't like it. I don't like this food. I don't like this restaurant. I don't like the service. And he's like, well, why do you come here every week? Yep. Oh, yeah, that. My dad did that in real life. He did that in real life when I was school age. I must have been about 14 because I was doing my work experience placement. I was doing my work experience at the company that he worked. And one lunchtime in the canteen, he gets there, gets his thing, gets sat down, gets his newspapers out, gets his lunchbox out, opens it up, unwraps his sandwich, takes a bite and goes off. Oh, I'm getting freaking sick of cheese sandwiches every day. He goes, And I'm like, hang on a minute, you packed yourself up. But yeah, he used to have cheese sandwiches every day, and he did that for like 52 years. I think I'd be pretty pissed off having cheese sandwiches every day for 52 years. Yes, I noticed that, but that solves the problem. That solves the problem that I had, which removes the clipping, because I could when I was modifying and trying to tweak that baler to do 180 centimetre bales, I couldn't find a way to stop it clipping through the bale chamber when it was coming out the back of the baler. And I even had John, by now John, on it, and we had a bit of a back and forth, sending each other different versions of mods that we were both tweaking and trying to adjust. We couldn't solve that issue, but that guy did. And I also like the fact that the guy that released that baler also added that little function that when the round bales come out the back, it flips them on the side so they don't roll away. It puts them on the flat bit. That's clever. Again, it wouldn't make... Yeah, when you're rattling along the field at 24 kilometers or whatever an hour, you don't really notice it. It's only when you're really looking for it. Well, because I imagine, because you've done that harvest with the X9 with its great big massive header, those straw swaths are quite meaty in size. They're quite wide swaths, so that baler is struggling to cope with all the straw going into it at the moment. If the straw, when we do the alfalfa mowing at like 7 meters, 7 meter wide gaps between the swaths, you will notice on the grass that it moves a lot quicker, that baler, or it should do. Should travel. I mean, it goes. Yeah. It slows down, so it automatically slows down so it doesn't overload the pickup. It's the pickup on the front of the baler that's the limiting factor. It can only cope with so much stuff going into its face. It's like an American. It can only stuff its face with so many donuts before it can't fit any more in. You know, and it has to just take a breather. Yeah. It just slows them down a little bit. So that's why the baler slows down a fraction whilst it's doing that. Wow, is it 10 PM already? Yeah, I was late to stream tonight by about an hour. Because like I say, I did have a danger nap this afternoon after my rehab, and then I had to quickly go and eat my dinner. When I woke up, I was like, oh crap, my dinner, before I go streaming. Yeah. Where's the bale collector? Have you got that with you? The object storage. Oh, in the Stevie's Hayham. Yeah, I know the place. Windrow Sales. The farm Windrow Sales. Yes. But there is a version of that baler that you're using in the store, because the guy does provide 2 in his mod. There's one in the store that will drive at 40 kilometers an hour. It's a bit of a cheaty one, and I didn't get that one. Silage, it has silage, it has a silage additive tank on as well, yes, so you will get more yield again when you're picking up your grass and doing straw bales. Yeah, I didn't buy a pallet of silage additive. You might be able to fill that up from the farm supply, the white silos. The silage additive, you might be able to buy that directly from there. The reason I tend not to buy the silage additive in the pallets from the shop is because I think they give you 100 litres on a pallet, and most of the machines and equipment in the game do not have silage additive tanks that use 100 litres or take 100. So you always end up with a scabby little pallet with probably 40 litres or so just stuck at the shop until you need it, until you need to refill. And you don't tend to use a great deal of silage additive unless you're doing really, really massive grass fields and doing grass all the time. So you end up with these pallets just sticking everywhere. Okay, it's not so bad now because we've got things like the storage racks from GTX where we can stick pallets on. We can auto-load the pallets onto a rack to keep them tidy and out of the way. And then, obviously, when we need the stuff again, we can just spawn it back from the pallet back into the world. The rack into the world. But yeah, I do like it. I love the fact there's that great... Yeah. Yeah, because you don't want to be doing it every night, because you want to break and you want to play other things. Where we're on at the same time. Yeah. Yeah, I'll you know what, I'll probably look into that for August. I might have a look. Carry on as we are for now with just the local hosting to the end of the month, and then new month comes round in August and I can have a look at renting a server again, getting G-Portal, go back to G-Portal and say, look, can I have a Farm Sim server again, please, as a big, you know, Farm Sim streamer, YouTuber. That happens on all the grain headers, actually. Yeah, it says 15.2 meters, but it's not. Or when you do the GPS, it comes out much wider. Yeah, it's not. It should be 15.2. And I would always set it, when I'm using the GPS, to 15. Yeah. It's the same on the other baler, on the other headers where they're like with the built-in trailers, which are like supposed to be 13.7 meters in game. But GPS recognises them as like 14 point something, but I always then harvest at 13. I like a bit of an overlap. Alright, I'm bringing bales. I've got 24 so far. Yeah. Bouncy, bouncy, bouncy. Bouncy, bouncy, bouncy. I love it. 24 boom. Sell these. Yeah, we've got a few barrels in the storage. I've also been round and filled up the... Well, I put some in the silo. I've put some in the composter. I've put some in all the animal pens. So like the pigs, the cows. I've filled them up. The cows are filled up outside in the robot as well as inside where the bedding straw, even though we don't have any cows and stuff at the minute. I just thought, hey, I'll put it in place. I'll fill them up now. Well, I've got it, and then down the road it's one less thing we've got to add and worry about. Yeah, I'm selling bales. Selling the straw. Money for nothing. Chickens for free. Or ducklings. Or ducklings, because we've got ducks available on this map. We can do ducks. Again, Mr. Helge's costing me. It's costing me big time. Oh, that's definitely done it. That's definitely done it. Yeah, won't be able to monetize this one, ladies and gents. Mr. Helge's ruined that one. Yeah. They got left alone all on a planet. That would be quite stressful. Yeah. Now I'm copyrighted for audio as well. Someone's singing in the stream. Now copyrighted. Well as demonetized. Channel sabotage by Mr. Helge. It's no good. I'm going to have to ring RAF Coningsby in the morning and get them to send that Lancaster bomber back over. Finish the job it started in 1943. Go on, boys. One more sortie. You know you want to. See if you can bounce that bomb right into Mr. Helgi's lap. Mm-hmm. Reverse, reverse, reverse. Reverse, reverse, reverse. So you had 24, 27, 30 bales on that field. From field 14. All needs baling first, I guess. So you can now complete contract 14 if you want. Because the straw's been collected, don't need access to the field anymore. We need to make sure that any completed contracts are collected before we shut down the server, because they do tend to disappear still. Still seems to be a little bit of a bug in the multiplayer coding there. %, field progress at the moment, and 0% delivered. Oh, field 13 ploughing. Field 16 ploughing. Why is what's field 13? I'm gonna guess. That's another crop that's not been... So disappointing, isn't it? Wonder if there's an issue with rye then as a crop that doesn't quite... Something about... But no, because Stevie's done these crops on... No, but it's the same crop, isn't it? 13 and 16 are the same crop type, rye. So I wonder if it's the rye crop that is... There's an issue with the rye crop where it's not going to ready to harvest. Yeah. Could be. But again, Stevie's done all... Stevie's done these crops on all his maps in FS22 so far. I'm sure if there was an issue with the harvest, more people would have spotted it on the other maps. And I'm pretty sure I've done rye on Ringwoods and not had an issue. But have I done it as a contract, or have I just done it because I've grown it myself? Mr. Helgi's got to go to bed. Good night, Mr. Helgi. Thank you for joining me again. That's fine. I don't need to earn money, do I? I can work for free. If I work for free, I don't have to pay the taxman anything, do I? Good night, sir. I love it. GPS is already set up, ready to roll. I can just carry straight on. What? See, this is where I would do things a little bit differently than Mr. Helgi. I know this field is like square, but I would have done a headland first without dropping straw on all 4 sides. And the reason for that is then when I get to the end of the row, I can just keep rolling and drop the straw. Whereas the way he's doing it, he's having to reverse and back up at the end of every row to avoid dropping a great big pile on every row. It also works really well if you're using like course play or auto drive to help you with unloading. Because then the tractor and trailer that likes to sit on the edge of the field isn't getting stuck driving over great big lumps of straw. And also, some of the harvesters in the game do this weird little thing where they seem to have a bit of a every so often when you're off the edge of the field turning round, where they drop a spot of straw. And it's like, oh great, you've dropped a lump of straw in the middle of a road that I'm not allowed to pick up because I don't have access. Or they drop it on another field that you don't have access to. And you're like, come on. So again, if you've got that little headland, that little bit of breathing room on the edge of the field, you sometimes avoid that problem. It's also a good way of being able to harvest into the field, to make your first cut actually onto and into the field without dropping straw off it if you have the straw swather turned off. But yeah, I'd be interesting to see if the swather mod works on this map. I would. Because if I get that little self-propelled mowery thing and we mow the crops that are ready to harvest, and then we then come round with the collectory gizmo, which I think is a separate mod. I also want to try one of these things out at some point. I do. One of these pivot systems. I do. For fertilising the fields, like they have in America. I think for field 20, one of those might be very useful. Because that again, it's not a mod I've had to play with before. Ever. But I would like to have a go with it. Where you just basically put that down on the field, you fill that up, you start it running, and it spins around the field over a period of time and does the fertilising. There's the swath. There it is. The pickup header. That's what we want. So that goes on a combine. So after you've done the mowing, you've mowed your crop, you drive down it with one of these, attached to a harvester, and it separates the crop, the wheat or whatever, barley, oats, whatever, from the straw, and then obviously leaves the straw, puts the straw out the back in the thing, puts the crop into its tank. But apparently you get more by doing that than if you just do the regular harvesting. Which obviously, because it's an additional process that you're doing, it's going to take longer for you to do that. It's better if you have that reward. Now I am 82% full. I'm going to go and unload because I'm not going to get down that row. Not with my current little harvester of power. And again, my habit is to fill the rear trailer up before the front one. Whereas Mr. Helgi goes for the front trailer first. Again, it's just individuals have their own different way of doing things. There is no right and wrong way in Farm Sim to do anything. But I tell you what, last night, Mr. Helgi was definitely doing things the wrong way. When we'd finished harvesting field 2, and obviously we needed to get it re-prepared for the field, for the next seeding and stuff. And obviously, you come in, you check the soil composition. What does the field need? Oh, it's alright, doesn't need lime, doesn't need ploughing, we're okay. Just cultivate it and then we can seed it straight away, no problems. Mr. Helgi goes in, grabs the tractor, grabs the equipment, jumps on the field and starts obviously going up and down. A few minutes later, he comes through on the Discord to me and says, there's a lot of fit stones on this field. And I'm like, really? That's a bit weird. Because the disc harrow that I've got for cultivating doesn't produce stones because it's a shallow cultivator. It's one of the reasons why I like shallow cultivation over normal the disc harrows over the normal cultivators. Because the normal cultivators go a little bit too deep in this game and pull up light stones. So I was like, that seems a bit weird. But as I'd finished the job I was doing, I was like, okay, that's no problem. I'll bring the stone pick collector over and I'll start collecting the stones. So I start collecting the stones. And all the while, I'm looking at Mr. Helgi as he's going up and down the field, like, ahead of me. And I'm like, there's something not right about that. There's something weird. I couldn't quite put my finger on what it was. And Mr. Helgi then said, he said something like, oh God, this field needs ploughing. And I was like, what do you mean this field needs ploughing? He says, look at the map. So again, I went in the map and he was looking at the map and it was like, the map's all red. But obviously what Mr. Helgi was looking at was stones. Like field 11, you think field 11 needs ploughing because it's red. But actually, if you turn off the stone layer, it doesn't. This map has 6 different levels of stones on it. Compared to the normal 3 in the vanilla game, the map author has added 3 extra levels to the amount of stones you get on a field. And Mr. Helgi was confusing that with the ploughing. And it was confusing me as well, because I'm sat there looking at Mr. Helgi going, well, he is ploughing. He's got the plough. Because he's got the big 9RX tractor and our big green John Deere plough. And at that point, I was like, hang on a minute, Mr. Helgi. I thought you was cultivating this field. He says, I am. I says, well, you're not, because you've got the wrong tool. You've got the wrong tractor, and you've got the plough. And he was like, is this a plough? And I was like, have you played this game before? I was like, the cultivator's the little blue thing. The little blue 8-metre jobby attached to the 8R with the twin wheels. I was like, that's what I was getting confused about. When you said the field needed ploughing, I was like, how can the field need ploughing when you are ploughing it? How can it need ploughing after you have ploughed? And he was like, ah. And I was like, and that would explain all the stones. Because obviously the plough is going to cause the worst amount of stones on the field. The level 6 stones on this map. Whereas obviously if he'd have done the cultivating, we would have had no stones. We wouldn't have needed to do any stone picking, which means I could have literally followed right behind him in the cultivator with the seeder. Because the only bad thing about the seeder that we have on this map, on our farm that we started with, is it doesn't direct drill. It has no direct seeding capability, which means we always have to cultivate or plough after a harvest before we can seed again. Which obviously is not a bad thing in multiplayer, because you have the people around to do that. And it's extra jobs and extra tasks, and it keeps people busy. In single player, that can be a little bit frustrating, having to plough or cultivate after every harvest. One of the reasons why I tend not to play a lot of the precision farming add-on, because that can cause that situation. And I appreciate I am 92% full. But I'm going to have to dip out of this row in a minute to go and unload again. We have filled up very quick on sorghum, I have to say. Right, let's go empty this. I'm not going to deliver the crop. I'm going to finish the harvesting tonight. Just the harvesting. I'm going to leave the straw then till the next session on Thursday. Thursday evening. And then obviously we can get all the bale. We'll get this baled and probably sell the bales again like we've done tonight. Then we can deliver this, get paid, and all will be good. We've got no other contracts active, so that shouldn't cause any problems. And like I say, I might just send Stevie a quick message to say, hey, this harvest issue that I mentioned to you last week, it's happened again this week, it's happened again tonight, but it's only happening on fields that have rye. Is it rye? Only happening on the fields with rye. I will double check that. I'll run over to that field before I log out and confirm that. Not that I don't trust Mr. Helgi with his colour vision, but some of the new crop colours on this map are very, very similar. I think I said it on Sunday in the stream when we did the alfalfa. It would have been nice if when you planted alfalfa it was purple rather than green, so you can tell the difference between an alfalfa field and a grass field. I don't know if that's possible to do, because obviously alfalfa behaves like grass and is something that you mow, and maybe because of that it has to always be green. But it would have been nice to have had it purple, just so you can see what's alfalfa and what's grass. There's just a spriggly little bit to do down that edge, not a problem. Bowling alley, what? Supermarket. I wonder where that ice cream cart's gone. The one that's normally floating. I can't see it, actually. Sometimes it's either floating in the air above the supermarket, or sometimes it's in the middle of the road. But the great thing is, it doesn't have any collision. So you can drive through it, and the AI traffic drives through it. It doesn't cause problems. But it's weird, it's like there's a phantom ice cream cart on the map that just moves around. It's a little bit creepy. Right, straw blower is now turned off. Because I just need to harvest the end row. Pick up that last little dreg. Harvest finished. Let's go. Let's go. Dum, 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 dum. Right. Unload. There'll be a header trailer somewhere, I'm guessing, for this. It's over there. I'll let Mr. Helgi worry about that on Thursday. Putting the header back on the trailer and all, sorting out all that stuff. Right. I think for this evening, ladies and gents, I have finished streaming. It is 20 to 11. Right. I think what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go and host somebody. Return a little bit of love here on Kick and support a fellow streamer. So let's go see who is live in my follow list. See who is live. We'll turn that one off. Host a channel. Who is currently live? There are a few. Well, I think I'm going to go and host Scraplet. Don't know what he's doing, but I'm sure we'll find out when we go over there, and we'll be able to say hello to him. So, let's jump in and host the Scraplet. Right. Let's have a look-ski.
How are we doing?
6 viewers. Oh, 4 people just bailed.